Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back your lovely faces to a brand new video here on the channel. We are going to be looking at part 4 of the 3-year special investigation that the Byline Times have done into Dan Wootton. I do want to give a little bit of a warning as well. Some people may find what we're about to discuss upsetting. So, let's jump into it. Dan Wootton paid stars with Sun's Depp money for covert catfish videos. In the 4th part of his 3-year special investigation, the Byline Times reveals how the GB News presenter and Mail Online columnist used News UK cash to pay male adult actors to secretly film themselves with other people he had targeted on Facebook. GB News presenter Dan Wootton paid adult film stars to meet other gay men he had catfished in order to secretly record them. Byline Times can reveal. Wootton rented the Facebook profiles of at least 3 different male adult performers for up to £500 a time, before posing as them and tricking his targets into meeting to be covertly filmed with cameras that he supplied. At least one of these meetings took place in a hotel paid for by Rupert Murdoch's The Sun newspaper, of which Wootton was associate editor at the time. This part by here now just blows my mind. The journalist also charged a £1,500 adult stars fee for the private work to his then employer's News UK, disguised as payment to a contact for a front page story about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. We've been discussing how has he got all this money to pay for all these videos. By the looks of things, he charged it all to the Sun. That's fraud. Oh, they're for a contact, for a story, for a front page story, don't worry. No. According to this, he was paying off adult film stars and other people. This newspaper has interviewed 2 of the adult performers involved and has evidence from another man also paid by Wootton to make secret tapes for him. The Byline Times has also identified 2 other victims of Wootton's catfishing conspiracy, which is separate to his use of the pseudonyms Martin Branning and Maria Joseph, to trick scores of other male victims into revealing compromising explicit material. For legal reasons, we are not naming the others involved. However, it can be confirmed that 2 have given information to the police about their experiences with Wootton between the years 2009 and 2016. During which time he worked successfully for the now defunct News of the World, the Daily Mail, and the Sun. Are you interested in coming down and filming it? In this 4th part of a special 3-year investigation into Dan Wootton's personal and professional conduct, the male adult stars have revealed how the presenter paid to use their Facebook profiles to target men of interest. One told this newspaper, Dan used to pay us anywhere between £300 and £500 to use our Facebooks. I didn't know these people he was messaging. It was all males. He was messaging as me, basically. If this all comes out to be true and this is Dan Wootton, he's a goner. He added, I know he was using the Facebook of 2 other adult entertainers. I was watching the messages go on one of the adult entertainers' accounts to this other lad, but he, Wootton, was deleting them as they were firing out and coming back. He was deleting them as they were going along. Asked if Wootton was destroying evidence on a rolling basis as it came up, the entertainer said, yes, Dan was doing it. Makes you think, doesn't it? The other adult entertainer said he allowed Wootton to use his Facebook profile because he needed the easy money, and described seeing the now GB News star targeting 5 or 6 men from one account. He said, he paid me to use my Facebook account. I still had access to it as well, but I gave him my password. And then when I felt he'd had enough, I'd change my password. After a while, Dan would message me, he added. Wootton would say, I've got a guy here. Are you interested in coming down and filming it? The first entertainer continued. So he was literally paying people to use their Facebook accounts and film people. These people we used to meet, I don't know who they were. I think they were from Dan's circle, and the films were an attempt to get one up on them. I can't say for certain, but I think it was to get compromising material on people. This is my belief. Why else would you want someone filmed without their knowledge and be so adamant you want it filmed? Exactly. This is absolutely just, it's mind-blowing, it's crazy, and it's sad to say that someone like Wootton, if this is true, because remember, allegations is, if he wants to get one up on him, this is the kind of stuff I think he would actually do. He wanted it filmed secretly. In 2016, Wootton told the two actors, then aged in their mid-20s, to meet him outside the Sun's offices in London Bridge and issued them with details of a target, filming equipment, and directorial instructions. Now, that by there, if they have said this and they can actually prove that they met him and everything else, game over for Wootton. The first actor said, there were 2 cameras and an iPad we had to pick up from Dan from the baby shard. He noticed that the iPad was logged into Wootton's Apple iCloud via his Apple ID. This is in 2016. I was in the back of the car when Dan got into it. The guy we were messaging, you could tell from the content of the message, didn't want it filmed. But Dan's like, I don't care what he says, you get in there and get the film. Before you even go into the house, get the cameras on. I want the walk-in. The actor told Wootton, you can't effing do that, Dan, and says the presenter responded by saying, don't worry about him, he'll be fine. The first actor was reluctant to carry on without the target's permission, so I said to the second actor, no, we're not doing that. We're not effing filming someone without their consent. We're not doing it. When they approached their target, he was skeptical. We knocked on his door, introduced ourselves, and he was like, I don't believe you. 2 stars want to come down and film me. And I was like, yeah, here's what we do. Basically, it's for personal use. This is what me and my mate do. We go around people for a laugh. The guy could tell something was amiss. He weren't buying the story. After about 10 to 15 minutes free play, I advised him that the camera was going to come out. He was like, no, I don't want it filmed. I don't want it filmed. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of it then. We didn't get anything on film. So he took Dan's cameras back and he said, you boys head back to their home location and I'll sort your money out. The second actor told of another occasion on which Wootton instructed him and a different well-known adult star to target a man he had catfished into a meeting in a hotel very close to Wootton's then home in East London. The entertainer said, we went to Dan's flat in London, he was asking us to film another chap, and he wanted it secret. He wanted it filmed secretly. Explaining that the target agreed to having the film made on their proviso, it was for the private use of consenting parties, he added. So we filmed that and gave it to Dan. Dan was happy with it and he paid us. I think it was $500 each. I can't remember if it was paid in cash or by bank transfer. Well, if it's by bank transfer, you should have it in your history if you go back further enough. You can always get it. You can get it to the very first time that you opened up your account. And if they can do that, it's over. Payments with the Sun's money. Wootton always booked the hotels where some of the meetings took place. Among these occasions, one was on June the 12th, 2016, at the Holiday Inn off London's Commercial Road, close to Wootton's flat at the time. And on one least occasion, Wootton paid the adult entertainer's fee with the Sun's money. On 10th of June 2016, Wootton sent an email from his work address, danwootton@thesun.co.uk, to the newspaper's editorial clerk, registering the stars as a new payee on his contributor payment system. The email, which Byland Times has obtained, oh, there we go. This could be it, guys. I needed the second setup as a new payee, please. He needs to put down for $1,500 urgently on the AH splash page 1, also on pages 4 5 from last week. Thanks, Dan. Analysis of the Sun's stories in the relevant time frame suggests that the payment, which the entertainer confirms was not for information about Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, was in lieu of an article Wootton wrote about the Hollywood pair's private lives. This newspaper has also spoken to another man Wootton paid to make a secret film of an unwitting third party in 2012, this time at London's Savoy Hotel, in a suite paid for by the sponsors of the BAFTAs, the telecom company Orange. The man said he had initially dealt with Wootton's alter ego Martin Branning and had made secret films for Branning for £250 a time, before being approached openly by Wootton and asked to meet another man who he covertly filmed without consent. He said, "It was on the Sunday during the BAFTAs while Dan was still at the Sun. I got a message from Wootton himself. He asked me to secretly record me performing a specified act on a man who did not know he was being filmed at a hotel room at the Savoy for money." Even though I've already read this, it's still blowing my mind. Let me know below what you think of this so far, because if they've got all this evidence, then it's game over for Mr. Wootton. It will actually come out more than likely in the next coming weeks that he is Martin Branning, and all of this is true. Although the filming went ahead, in the event there was no activity, as the pair instead got drunk on the room's minibar. The man said, "I was secretly recording, correct, but I didn't perform any acts and we just drank in the hotel room. What Wootton asked me to do didn't really happen, but he still asked me to video the man without his consent." The allegations in this article have been put to representatives of Dan Wootton, and this newspaper has not received a response. Byland Times will update this article if it does. Wow, there's so much stuff to unpack here. Obviously, with him using the Sun's money and putting it on the payment system as, front page scoop, this is what he gave me or whatever, that's fraud. Because he's using someone else's money to pay for very creepy acts, because it is criminality, because they haven't got consent. They're secretly filming him doing something. It's not going to go well. What I would like to see now, though, is, even though they've said they got the emails, I think they should print some of them. And to be honest with you, if they've spoken to 2 of these adult stars already, and they're the ones who said, yeah, we went and saw Dan Wootton, he got in the car with us, and the bank statement, that is going to be the big one. If they did pay by bank transfer, they can go all the way back and check. And this has just blown my mind tonight, I really must say, because it's currently 10 to 9 UK time in the UK, obviously. That's where I am. And like I say, this article came out 40 minutes ago. It's crazy. With him using using Johnny Depp and Amber Heard as well to basically go, oh yeah, I need money, it's for this, but we're going to put it down as a Johnny Depp story. And they said they've got the email as well regarding that actual saying where he's going to pay someone for a story on them too, which turned out it went to one of these adult stars. It's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks, because we've also got part 5 as well coming out tomorrow or Friday, which more than likely will probably end up being Friday. And they've also said they got weeks of stories. It's not looking good for Dan Wootton at this moment in time. With the lawyers actually looking into it and everything else, it's going to go, it's not going to work well for him. Byland Times would have had the lawyers' advice. They would have said, what can happen? What are the consequences? Is this going to happen? But we can prove it. And the lawyers more than likely looked at all the evidence and went, you got the go-ahead. That's probably what's happened with that behind the scenes. But guys, let me know what you think of this down below. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future updates. And I'll see you all soon.